Can you imagine, this is supposed to be nominally a Christian country where you get arrested for saying, God bless you?
It is absolutely ridiculous, the state that this country has descended into. And it is a woeful act by police that are clearly not doing anything to dispel the public perception that we have two-tier policing.
Okay, so usually I'm being served these types of cases and asked to comment on it. And it's kind of difficult to do because there's no added context. If someone gives me, like, oh, well, someone said God bless in the United Kingdom and he got arrested. And so I'm wondering, okay, if I travel to see Carl again at the Lotus Eaters and I say God bless, will Keir Starmer's wrath descend upon me? Am I going to be arrested? And so I did a little bit of digging, and it turns out like what happened is that this gentleman went to a pro-Palestine protest and he said God bless. Now you gotta understand the British mentality, okay? Like, if you think about the British government as a battered wife, as an incredibly feminine nation, then all of this makes sense. You see, the British government is absolutely terrified of violence. They don't like it when people go on the street and they start throwing hands and shit, right? Like, that terrifies them, because, like, again, feminine nation. And so what they do is they have the battered wife syndrome. Like, they side with the most violent person because they believe that will get the violent person to not chimp up. And so if they're looking at the Christian community, right? Like, the Christian community is represented by these nice gentlemen, you know, with glasses, and they're smiling, and they're kind and compassionate. And then you have, like, a different community which is doing pro-Palestine marches, right? And these communities are the activists, the social justice, like, they make shit happen. They go on the streets, they tear shit down. They're the ones that get to exercise their human rights. They're bringing in that summer of love energy. And so the British government goes like, oh shit, okay, so if we piss off the Christians, what happens? Well, they go on radio shows and they're smiling and, you know, they're nice people. Like, they're not going to do much. And they don't vote for us anyway. And so why should we give them anything? Now the interesting thing is, like, from the mentality of the police, what they're probably doing is, like, okay, they're seeing a pro-Palestine protest, which, despite the fact that it has people that may work in the academia in it, they're not very academic while on the streets. And so if you have a guy like this smiling and going God bless to the socialist, to the Muslim, it's probably not safe for him, right? And so, like, the police makes a mathematical calculation. Can I stop 5,000 individuals that are prone to violence? Probably not. Can I stop one guy from saying God bless and removing him from that violence? Probably yes. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is moral. I'm not saying that this is how things should be. I am just describing reality. And I have seen many such cases, especially in the United Kingdom, where when you have, like, a protest that has the reputation of having individuals capable of performing violence clashing with another group of people that have the reputation of having glasses and smiling, the police is usually going to arrest the ones that are having glasses and smiling, because it's a lot easier, and because you avoid the newspapers showing the broken glasses and broken teeth, right? And so this is how they operate, like a battered wife. They will always side with the people that are capable of doing harm in order to avoid said harm. I mean, you get to notice this in a household, right? If the family is dysfunctional and the wife has to live with a brute, like maybe a drunken husband or something that's irrational, but he starts screaming, he starts throwing him around, like maybe he hits her. Like, over time, the wife will side with him, even against the children, even on things that are irrational, simply to, like, keep him to shut the fuck up. Like, trying to maintain that balance where he doesn't spurg out. And this is, when you start looking at the British government like that, a lot of these things start to make sense. And it's not just about violence, it's also about financial power. Like, the Christians in the United Kingdom, they're not very rich from what I can see. Or if they are, they're not using their money in order to do activism. Meanwhile, the leftists, the academics, and the Muslim community definitely has money, and they definitely use that money in order to make shit happen. Like, if you were to arrest a Muslim at a pro-Palestine protest for saying Allah Akbar, I mean, my goodness, the international community would move the next day. You would have the press starting to churn in articles showing what a dystopian hellhole of intolerance Britain has become. You would get speakers on various channels, The Guardian, the BBC, like everywhere. Most of them would be paid, right? Like, most of them would have money from NGOs. It's like, here, like, please cover this news for us. This is dreadful. Look what's happening. Right? So, the leftists and the Muslim community, they already have their networks. They already have their finances and their money flowing in order to promote their interests. While on the other side, all they have is smiles and good vibes. And, that may have worked 40 or 50 years ago, but culture has changed. Technology has changed. You need to understand that even if you're in Britain, money talks. Like, you need to start financing. This is my theory, okay? This is my political theory from Eastern Europe. Please write it down, because it's very important. Every single politician is interested in your freedom. I would even say deeply interested in your freedom. Some of them want to restrict your freedom. Others want to protect your freedom. The question is, who are you financing? Who's getting paid? Politicians mostly are pragmatic, professional individuals that want to make money. Just like everyone else who goes to a job, like you have a guy that goes to a factory and works and makes for a living. You have another guy that lays bricks, a guy that drives the tractor. The politician goes and leeches off the taxpayer. All of them do that because they have to make money. And so the question is, like, how profitable is it for a politician to restrict people's freedoms versus how profitable is it for them in order to protect them? And if you're a politician that's on the left and it's about protecting Muslim rights in Britain and, protecting minorities from discrimination, it's insanely profitable. Like, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a lot of friends. If you're a guy that's about protecting British freedoms, who's paying you? Like, at some point, the conversation has to be done like this. Like, at some point, even people that are completely 100% only talking morals and what's right and what's wrong, even they have to agree that, though, actually the Americans are right. Money is actually free speech. To be honest, the Americans just stopped pretending. That's the only thing. Like, we Europeans, we still pretend that's not the case. The Americans are like open. It's like, no, actually, money is free speech. And if you want to change something in your society, voting is important, but it's not the most important. The most important thing is financing. Like, for example, since we're talking about Christians, I keep seeing articles being sent to me about Christian churches being closed down and mosques being opened, or some churches being converted into mosques. Now, this would never happen in my country. Because why is it happening in the United Kingdom? It's happening because Christians stopped going to those churches. And if they stop going to those churches aren't being financed. They're not being funded. And someone has to pay the taxes, someone has to pay for the heating, someone has to pay for everything, and they can't afford it, and so they sell it. So, like, if Christians don't go there, if they don't put money for that church, well, the church is going to be sold, right? Like, it's just how it works. Now, if it was in my country, and let's say, like, people found out that a church in some community is going to be turned into a mosque, well, the Christians would immediately organize, and they would have buses that would travel to that church simply to attend, and simply to finance it. Like, there would be GoFundMe. I mean, it's the age of the internet. Come on, There would be, like, people pitching money, and, like, if Christianity felt under threat, like, people would start donating more. So, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that what's happening in the UK is fair or not, but what I'm saying is that the conversation has to change, and the financial component has to be front and center. Morality and philosophy need to take a back seat. You are experiencing Soviet Eastern European problems, which require Soviet Eastern European solutions. You can't constantly go on the same way that has got you to this place and keep talking about fairness and morality to people that only care about finances. You have to make it unprofitable for them to arrest a person for saying God bless. And you have to make it profitable for those that want to defend the people that are saying God bless. It's not rocket science. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comment section.